We are almost live. Come on. There we go. There's Max, and that's who you are looking for. Apologize for that glitch. Yeah, Max. You're live and your flockers are here to watch you. Buck, buck, buck. All right, I am going to get this set into, excuse my hand for a minute. Here we go. We are set up in a tripod. So today we have Max and Tico both out on the patio. There we go. A little higher with you, Max. Apparently you're a tall little boy. There we go. Okay. There, how's that for height, buddy? Better for height? You're gonna go all the way up there. There you go. Well, hello to Sweden. Hello to every birdie who's joining us. There you go, Max. You sure? Yeah. Let's see if I can rotate this. Oh, there we go. Whoopsies. Just a little bit more than I wanted. Yeah, Max. Good morning, flockers. We are on the patio with Max and Tico. And this morning we've got some eggies. Would you like breakfast? Yeah. Oh, you got two. Would you like some, Tico? Come here. I'm just going to go off of Tico some while Max gets started. Thank you, Tico, for being considerate and not taking off my finger. And there we go. I'm sorry, Max. He's getting a little bit adjusted there. Hatching out some toys. So we got some games to play a little bit later. Yeah. All right. So we are graced with another lovely, lovely day on the patio. Max certainly is enjoying himself. Oh, look at everybody who's joining us. I see we've got Einstein, we've got Maria, we have Christine, and a few others. So Max, is that a good beak fest? Is that the good stuff? Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. It sure does. And I think I'm going to do the same thing I did last week. Do you like smart? There you go. Oh yeah, there you go. Fresh egg. And pull up a secondary device so I can read your comments without bumping the phones. It always seems to take longer than expected to get everything set up for a live stream. What do you think, Max? Is that the good stuff? Yeah, we certainly did bring snacks. We brought some fresh eggies out. And that is always one of Max's absolute favorite snacks. So he's pretty happy about that right now. And let's see, there we go. There's our chat. So Tango Elliott's here. Iona, Maria, Gull, Manuela, Greenbird. Hey, Bok Greenbird. Everybody's joining us. Hey, Joy's even here. Yes, Joy, we did start the live stream with a bit of a block. Max is quite eager about that. There you go, buddy. Is that good? I bet you that's good. Christine. Yeah, it's a pretty exciting morning. It's quiet. It's the beginning of October. Tico has been very, very busy this week. If you've been watching our socials, he has been going after pums, and he's proven himself the absolute pumpkin king. He seems to surprise us a little bit every year with what he does. This year, or last year, he used to pretty much skin the pumpkin, break into the inner chamber, but leave the inner chamber pretty much alone. He'd just get a little bit of a bite into it, not too far. And his interest was really in peeling the pumpkin. This year, inner chamber was absolute full game. And Tico, when he was chewing at that pumpkin, he even climbed into it at one point. And I came down and I looked at him, and he had pumpkin guts strewn all over his back. He looked pretty proud of himself, and he was just sort of climbing up to say, hey, you interrupted me. And he had a good bath after that. I had to change his drinking water quite a few times. He does love bathing in his drinking water, and that seems to be his thing right now. You know, get pumpkin all over him, make pumpkin soup, wait for me to change the water. I mean, after all, that's what I'm there for, right? Yeah, so we've got Tico over here. I'm going to just shift this and see if I can angle down for a minute. Tico's just hanging out. You know, Tico's never too happy about the camera, but he is watching the cars going past. He's watching some of the birds, checking it out. He's pretty chill. Yeah, the reason he's in a carrier is twofold. Number one, I don't put him on a leash and hold him in a hand when I'm holding onto a camera. That results in one of us bleeding, namely me. And number two, having Max out as well makes it kind of difficult to have Tico out at the same time. You know, all of a sudden I'm wrangling two birds rather than just one. Let's see if we can adjust that just a little bit more. Hey Max, do you want some more eggy? I think there's some more eggy in here. Reach. Oh, you're gonna pull it up closer, huh? There you go. You okay for eggs, Tico? Hey, Ase Blue's even joining us this morning. Hello. It's really great to see you today, Tango Elliott. I know you made a comment the other day that this time's a little bit difficult for you to get to. So we really appreciate that you made the effort to join us. You know, I am kind of curious if there's a time that works better for people. I thought Saturday was going to be a good day to do the stream because our friend Einstein has his stream on Sundays. And this way we're not competing with him. We're just giving you some quality content every day. So if you have any comments about what would work for you, you know, if you need something a little bit earlier, a little bit later, let me know. Because, you know, it's really all about the flock. And we're out here and inside sometimes just trying to please you and trying to show you what's going on. Yes, Tico is definitely the pumpkin king. He enjoys his pumpkins. He really, really does. So what I do with Tico's pumpkins, for those of you who may not be super familiar, I just go to the grocery store and I pick up regular carving pums. And the way I select them is as follows. I pick up the largest pumpkin. They're not sold by weight, they are just sold by unit. So I get the best value by grabbing a very, very large pumpkin. And Tico prefers the larger pumpkins. When I get it home, I wash it well. Usually they don't fit in the sink, so a few times I've washed them in the bathtub or taken them outside to hose them off. That becomes a bit of, look at you, you're getting hand fed. Yeah, you're lucky. I still have all my fingers. You know, it is a bit of work, but lately what I've done is I've just started giving them a sponge bath slash scrub using one of those scrubby sponges at the sink, and just balancing it over top of the sink and cleaning it the best I can there. That seems to really, really work well. And I get all of the dirt off. I scrub off any of the pesticides. I wash it the same way that you would wash an apple that you were about to eat the skin on. You know, when you buy those apples, you don't know what kind of pesticides they've been sprayed with. They've probably got a coating of wax. So you want to give it a really, really good clean. Yeah, that's right. And after cleaning it, I just give Tico the pumpkin whole. The first few times, I mean, it took a little bit for him to learn that pumpkin was edible, but now he knows it. He knows how to break into a pumpkin. He has a beak and he's not afraid to use it. I actually like the fact that some of the larger pumpkins sometimes take him a few minutes to break into, and he's got to figure it out. It keeps his brain working. But the first few times that I gave him pumpkins, he would have a hard time getting into them. So I would take a paring knife and I would just stab it a few times and put a few holes to make sure that he knew that there was good stuff inside the pumpkin. In those little holes, I would just cram one of his favorite treats, some sunny seeds. And with those sunflower seeds, he would definitely dig at them. Then he'd figure out that there was a bit of a break in the pumpkin skin, and he would start chewing from there. So far this year, he has had 2 pumpkins, and it's still very early in the season. I have an additional 3 downstairs, and every time I go groceries, I'm going to pick up some additional. And that's going to give us the opportunity to have lots and lots of pumpkins for Tico. He's certainly quite happy about the idea. What do you think, Max? Yeah, you're doing the talking too. Yeah, so Tico, he gets pumpkin for 2 or 3 days. If you saw the end picture of yesterday's pumpkin, I mean, he just left a small wedge of it. I remove it before it gets a chance to start growing any fuzz or gets too bad. I mean, you can pretty much tell how the pumpkin's doing. It's going to depend on the temperature inside the house, the ripeness of the pumpkin, and a few other factors. But if you just give the flesh of the pumpkin a bit of a push, you can tell when it's starting to get sort of rubbery and is no longer crisp. That's usually the point that I yank the pumpkin. Pumpkins are a little bit too large to fit into my fridge, but that's okay. It's not as if they last that long. It's only a couple of days, and Tico's always exposing some fresh pumpkin to chew on. So when the pumpkin's done, I just bag it and take it out to the garbage. And I can tell you that last pumpkin that Tico had, that was more than 20 pounds. It was big and heavy based on the amount of pumpkin that was left over. He's pretty pleased with himself. You'll get another pumpkin today, I think. Max, are you thirsty? Would you like something to drink? Like some water? Not now? Okay, that's fine. That's right, Max. Who's that, Max? Is that our neighbor? Oh boy. Yeah, that's Honey. The favorite puppy.
You almost forgot about the vet appointment, so we got her to stay.
Ooh. Good luck.
Bye, Max.
What do you say, Max? Yeah, we've got some really great neighbors around here. That's Honey the dog, one of the first that Max balked for. Max actually started off barking for Honey when he first moved in here because he identified that Honey was a dog. Honey eventually just started ignoring Max. So one day, Max decided to balk at Honey. And that was that lovely, lovely golden dog that just wandered past. And the dog stopped and looked. I stopped and looked, as did our neighbor. And we just looked at Max, and he got the reaction he wanted. He was pretty happy about that. Yeah, you went bark, bark, bark. Can you bark for me? Can you bark for me, Max? Bark, bark, bark. That's your name, but can you bark? Bark, bark, bark. So this is why my neighbors think I'm insane. Can you bark, bark, bark? Max, can you bark, bark, bark? We've got Tico over here, just watching Max. Uh-huh. Yeah, Tico's pretty chill compared to Max. But Tico's really interested in what's happening. I don't know if you noticed, but when the neighbor came out, Tico gave her a low wolf whistle. It's his way of acknowledging people, and it has gotten him in trouble before. Tico used to come when I had a printing and a publishing company, and he used to come to the office. He was our mascot. And since I was the boss around the company, he was allowed to come in, and he'd hang out in the front office. You know, everybody got to know him, staff got to know him, some of our customers got to know him. I think some customers came in just to visit him. Well, one day, Tico decided that it would be quite funny to wolf whistle at somebody just as they were leaving. So this person turned around, and I happened to be in my private office, and Tico was in the main room. Oh no, Tico was in the back with me. But he wolf whistled anyhow. And this person turned around and just started yelling at a fellow I had working for me at the time, Bert. And she thought he had wolf whistled at her, and she was not going to let him get away with it. Well, she was demanding to talk to the manager, so I had overheard just enough to know what was going on. So I came out holding Tico in my hand, and I explained to her, I'm really sorry, it was actually the bird who'd wolf whistled. Well, she was having none of it. No way, she's not going to believe me. She was confident that Bert had wolf whistled at her. So, fast forward a little bit, you know, realizing that she was not going to listen. You know, Bert apologized profusely, said it would never happen again. I told Bert that I was going to have some words with him a little bit later on. And just as she was opening the door, Tico did it again. Now this time, she was looking right at me and right at Tico when Tico wolf whistled. She realized it was the bird. Thankfully, she had a really good sense of humor, but certainly Tico has an interesting sense of timing. And he did try to get people in trouble. Bird. So if you know our channel, you know it is the season of the Halloweirds. And at Halloweird, some of our special friends come out. And I'm going to show you Skinny. Pan down. There's Skinny. He came out. Now, I'm not sure if Skinny's brought any friends with him this year, but he certainly decided that it was time to hang out with the flock for the month of October. Or as we call it, the month of Halloweird. So Tico and Max are not too troubled by Skinny. They're used to him. I've got the cutest picture of Skinny from last year, where Skinny is standing on Tico's pumpkin. And Tico was not too impressed with that. Skinny, can you stand by yourself? Up there? No. Up there, maybe? There we go. So maybe we'll just take a quick pan back. Yeah, Tico, go ahead and give Skinny the evil eyeball. Move the table a little bit. It is definitely Skinny time. Okay. Move back a little bit. We might get everybody into the shot. Oh, Tico's going to play a little bit shy right now, but that's okay. So, yes, everybody's saying hi to you, Skinny. Thank you for joining the flock for the month. That's always kind of fun. Oh my goodness, look at all of the comments that I've just missed out on. Yes, Max really did enjoy his eggs. He loves eating his beakfast. Eggs are certainly one of his favorite, and he knows that weekends are the time that he gets them. Yeah, it's pretty cool to have Einstein joining us today and all of his birdie brigaders. Welcome to our flock. We tend to call ours flockers, you know, because you're all part of the flock. You're all part and parcel of the experience. What was that? What was that, Max? Did something startle you? Yeah, Max. Yes, Max really does enjoy his boiled eggs. The way that we usually make eggs, just because it's quick and easy, is we picked up a microwave egg cooker. You know, you can get them anywhere for a couple of dollars. And all I do, crack the egg, break the yolk, usually sort of quickly stir the yolk into the white, and toss it into the microwave for 30 to 40 seconds. I call them 30-second eggies. And it's really a quick way of making the eggs, and it's a super quick way of putting out breakfast for the birds. It's actually a great way to cook for yourself as well. Obviously, I don't use any salt. I find the egg cooker that sort of is meant for an omelet that's a little bit wider works better with a single egg. Eggs well enough distributed that it cooks well. And I see Max is on the move. Let's just shift you down a little bit, Max. There we go. Are you in the frame, Max? Not quite. There we go. We'll just go down a little bit further. There we go, Max. Yeah. But I find the ones that are meant for sort of more of a poached egg tend to encourage the use of salt to help the bottom and the middle of the egg cook. So I use the one that's meant for an omelet, and I just toss that in. Nice thing about it is it has a cover on it, which means I don't end up with egg all over the microwave. At least most of the time I don't. Yeah. I'm trying not to block the picture here, buddy. Yeah? Okay, we'll come in this direction. Nobody wants to see my arm. They do want to see you get your scritchies. Yeah. Max, what's this? Did we bring up blockchain? Did we bring up blockchain? Here. There you go. Blockchain. Now, last week you were pretty clever and you even pulled it up by the chain. Oh. There you go. You pull it up. There. Thank you for helping. That's right, buddy. No. I think that was just a ploy to get my hand in the way so we could get a bit more of a scritchy. Yeah, you can see his lovely, lovely harness on here. I've got feathers tucked into it. Let's pull a few of those around. That's an aviator harness, and it's definitely one of our favorites when we go out. Only takes a couple of minutes to put on. Super, super quick. Max has been really busy in the bottom of his cage shredding newsprint. What he does is he's got a huge cage. He climbs into the back corner of his cage and he starts shredding paper. And he likes to climb underneath a sheet of newspaper, and he likes to back his way into the very corner of his cage so that his butt and wing feathers are sticking out of the cage. So when he does that, it's just as if I want this corner and I'm going to stick this part of me out through the bars of my cage, and this wing will be out through a bar, this wing will be out through a bar. So he ends up with a bit of ruffled feathers on his wings and his tail. That's okay, Max. We still love you. Would you like some water? Some water? Max does know how to drink out of a cup like a big bird. No water right now. No. Would you like some cardboard? Yeah, there's some cardboard. Yay! Look at the cardboard. No, we're not playing toss with cardboard. This one's a nice long piece I can easily hold while he chews. Definitely anything that comes into the house that has cardboard on it. Let's try and keep you in the shot here, Max. How about we go back a little bit further? You decided to come a little closer to the camera. There, that'll work. But Max does enjoy chewing on cardboard. Anything comes into the house with cardboard, he tends to get. I see he wants to toss his cardboard today rather than chew on it. That's okay, bud. You can go pick it up. There we go. Oops. That didn't work. There. Can you reach that? Yeah, wants to reach out for a scritchy. I can't blame him. No. So Maria says in the chat that she still has to wait for her newest edition. I gather COVID has slowed down some of, the breeder and the ability to get her new bird. It's okay, Maria. You're really going to be worried about him for a little while, I'm sure, but it'll be all the sweeter when you do finally get him. And we're definitely looking forward to it. And I think we'll even help you by making an adoption announcement right here on the live when you do get them. Maybe you can send us a picture and we can show a picture to every birdie when you do get them. Be kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah, Max. Tango asked a question a little bit earlier. Sorry I missed a few of the questions. What's the lowest temperature that they can go out in? I'm just going to move that before you poop on it. Quite honestly, it depends on a few factors. This morning, I think it's only 10 or 11 degrees Celsius, but the sun is beating down and it's really, really warm, so it's quite comfortable out here. I'm comfortable outside in shirt sleeves, and that means that it's going to be a comfortable temperature for the birds. I tend to use that sort of to determine how comfortable it is. If it is so hot that I'm overheating, it's too hot for the birds to be out for too long, we might go out for a few minutes. We might have some water play with the tap, but we won't stay out for long. If it's too cold that I'm shivering when I'm outside, it's too cold for the birds as well. So it does depend on a couple of factors: the wind, the sun, the sky, if it's overcast or not, as well as the temperature. Humidity can play a bit into it as well. But if I'm comfortable, usually the birds are comfortable. Yeah, it really is lovely out here this morning. Actually, I kind of like this weather. It's not too hot, And when it gets too hot, everybody starts to overheat. I overheat, Max overheats. Not nearly as nice. Now we've got a bit of shade falling on the patio from the trees, although the trees are beginning to lose some of their leaves. But yeah, I sort of use the temperature gauge of, can I go out in shirt sleeves? Maria, super sweet. She says, just love your lives on YouTube. I'm really, really grateful that we have everybody joining us on YouTube and following the flock. You know, when I started off Max's social media, I had no idea quite how big it was going to grow, and it really is wonderful being able to share Max, Tico, sometimes TCal, and yes, you know, I guess even Skinny with you guys, at least for the month of October. It's definitely a fun pastime, and I'm just glad that Max can bring everybody else as much joy as he brings our flock. Tico's used to Skinny. If Tico got annoyed with Skinny, he'd just walk up, bite him on the toe, and Skinny would fall over. Hey, Rhonda. Hi. Yeah. So Max, what do you want to play with? Do you want to play with your bowl for a little bit? You want to spin it? You want to wear it like a hat? What was that? I know, that was mean of me. That was mean of me. All right. Cardboard. Yeah, look at you go, buddy. This is fairly thin cardboard, but it's shaped in a tube. That's kind of weird. A square tube. You can really see Max exploring it with his tongue. In many ways, a parrot's tongue is more like a finger than anything else. I actually had a few questions about the parrot's tongue earlier this week, which I answered on InstaFlock. But maybe as Max is chewing on things, it might be a great time to talk about it. And let's just see if I can move this a little closer. Oops. Where are you, Max? Can I get your tongue in the shot? Let's go for a bit of a close-up. Yeah. But as you can see, his tongue, he's looking at things, he's working at them. Parrot tongue is dry. The mouth does not have saliva like ours. And he uses it very much like we might use a finger. The tongue itself actually has a couple of bones inside of it, bones and cartilage. It honestly feels muscular when he's poking at you with it, but it really is more like a finger than anything else. And let's see if I can get a good angle, maybe lift up his head a little bit. If you can see his tongue, it's sort of a bit of a weird shape. You're gonna peel the cardboard. That's a good bird. Peeling cardboard's fun. The tongue itself is a bit of a weird shape, and it almost has a hole. Well, almost. It does have a hole on the top of it, which is where he swallows food through. So it works when he's eating things and chewing on them, manipulating them with his beak, but it also works as part of his digestive system as well as part of his nesting or exploratory with the world system. Yeah. I don't know if you just caught that, but you see how it's just sort of a little almost moisture towards the back, and it does have that bit of a hole in it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Max's tongue has always been that color. Usually cockatoo tongues seem to be just that solid dark grayish black. Max's has always been the way that you see it today, so I'm not too worried about it. vet's never been worried about it either. Hey, was that a good choo-choo? Yeah. You show me what that beak's used for. Russell. Those are some great close-ups of your tongue, buddy. Oops. I'm gonna have to clean all this up again later, buddy. Yes, Tango, Elliot. Tango says something really, really sweet. Oh, are there people walking past to go see? Oopsies. I think I just got your leash tangled. Let's try that again. Apparently you don't put the tripod on top of a leash. Yeah! Did somebody walk past, Max? Somebody walk past? Oops. I did not need to go quite that far over. Yeah, let's try and get you back into the shot. There you go, Max. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but there's a couple of little kids that are, about a block away and screaming in joy, and Max just wants to have a party with them. He's a very, very social bird, loves talking to people, loves visiting with people. One good thing about living on the front of the complex, there's a lot going on. Max loves people watching. What do you see, Max? Do you see peoples? Other thing Max is watching, if you look up, there's a couple of seagulls flying around in some circles. They pass every once in a while over at the top over there. Sort of come through the frame about here. And those definitely have got his attention as well. Do you see the little kids over there, buddy? Yeah, doing a good job of keeping in frame today. Yeah, it's pretty exciting when people walk past. Hey Max, can you bark for us? Can you bark, bark, bark? Max, bark, bark, bark. Can you bark, bark, bark? You bark, you'll catch their attention. Bark, bark, bark. Can you bark? Not right now? What are you thinking about? I'm right here. That's a pretty loud shriek, buddy. How about we balk instead? Balking's fun. Neighbors prefer you when you balk. Hey Max, can you balk, balk, balk? Can you rah, rah, rah? Hey Max, can you bark, bark, bark? Max. Max, bark, 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 bark. Can you bark, bark, bark? Nope. Okay. That's fine. You can just be yourself, hon. Yeah, see, Richard and Aaron are joining us. That's kind of cool. Hi, guys. Yeah, Max's voice can get quite shrill and quite loud. You doing a little cockatoo dance for us? Einstein made a great comment. He said Max is calling the kids to come have snacks. Well, he's actually calling the kids to come pay attention to him. I don't think he wants to share his snacks. Besides, his snack bowl is empty. He's already had lots of eggs, yeah? Well, there's more snacks later. There's always more snacks. Yeah, Max, when I pull out the pumpkin for Tico, Max probably would appreciate a small piece of pumpkin. He does enjoy it. He just does not enjoy shredding full pumpkins the way that African greys do. Yes, French Paul, screaming fits are definitely part of owning a cockatoo. If you're not okay with the bird screaming, you shouldn't own a bird. It's natural, sometimes flock call, sometimes alarm, sometimes excitement. There are many good reasons why birds scream. Sometimes for the joy of it, Sometimes right in your ear to check if you're paying attention. Definitely don't appreciate that one. Max is loud, I can tell you that. Yeah. We're talking about you. We're talking about you, Max. Yeah, Max, like any child, has a very short attention span. Chews for a little bit, tosses blocks for a little bit, snacks for a little bit, dances for a little bit. Then he's off onto the next thing, leaving a mess behind for me to clean up. That sounds about normal, though. I just got a bit of extra protein in my coffee. Fly decided to take some swimming lessons. Not quite what I was expecting. Just poured it out, so I'll have to get more coffee a little bit later. Yes, Max definitely does know how to chuckle. He knows how to entertain. He knows how to chuckle. And over here, for those of you who are wondering, we've got Tico and Skinny. And Tico's just keeping an eye on Skinny, making sure that everything is okay. I think I've still got Max's toes in the shot. And Max is coming in for a bit of close-up. Where are you, Max? Okay, I'm going to pick up the tripod again. Oops, I just have to clear over here. Yeah, well, if I'm going to get your whole body in. Yeah. Yeah, scritchies? Yeah, let's get some scritchies. Yeah, if you can see, skin underneath the feathers is sort of, I don't know what color that you'd call that. It's not quite red. It's sort of more of a purplish. It's a bit of a dusky. It's very, very soft underneath the feathers, and Max's feathers are very soft, especially compared to an African Grey or an Amazon, whose feathers tend to be a lot more wiry. Yeah, but all the feathers are very pretty. What's got your attention? Yeah, it's a big truck. Yeah, more scritchies. Yeah, so you can definitely see some of the skin under there now. I think I've got that in the shot. What do you want, buddy? What do you want? Let's shift. There's a bit better shot. What did you just say about the birds? Birds need scritches? That's okay. Birds need scritches. As the disembodied arm reaches into the frame. Yeah. Oh, that feels good. That really feels good, doesn't it? Oh, under the chin? Yeah. Yeah. Need more choo-choos? Choo-choos. Oops. Pretty strong the way you're pulling on that. that fun? Okay, is that the piece you wanted? Tango's got a great question. He asks, how did you decide what type of bird to get when you were thinking about getting a bird? Well, Tango, the first birds that I ever had were actually a pair of lovebirds. They were quite pretty, they were quite friendly, and it was my introduction to parrothood, so to speak. When one of the lovebirds passed away, we were thinking about getting another bird, and we were interested in a larger bird. And at the time, I thought I wanted a cockatoo because they had a reputation for being friendly. Now, not as much information was really available on different breeds and different birds back then. You have to remember, we're talking about you know, Tico is 24 years old. I mean, this is 24 years ago that we were looking at adding a bird to our small flock. I was in one of the local pet stores, actually Pisces, and that's where we sometimes do some of our meetups. It's a little bit smaller, different location, but they did specialize in exotics. And we went in there and we were looking around. They didn't have any cockatoos, but they did have a cage of 3 absolutely adorable baby African greys. And I said, yeah, we'd love to handle them. I'm still a little bit unsure about larger birds, have my experience being limited to a lovebird. And there were 3 of them, and Tico was the one that wanted to come out. Tico was the one who wanted to stand on my arm, and Tico was the one that actually was really great. There was a little kid in the store, and he reached up and grabbed Tico by the tail. All Tico did was quack at the kid, didn't bite, didn't get too upset, just sort of like, hey, what are you doing? And I mean, it was really quite adorable, and he was really gentle. He's 6 months of age, and he was absolutely adorable. Not much of a cuddler, but I was a little bit unsure about birds at the time. And, we went home, we talked about it. I was married at the time, and we decided that maybe an African grey would be a really cool bird to bring home. So went out, got a large cage. We had to put a deposit on. We went back, visited a few more times, and every time the same bird just came running out when he saw me. And that was actually a little bit of a deal clincher. I mean, young birds know how to get adopted. They just say, hey, I picked you. But Tico was really, really great. We went out, got him a big cage. It was actually a used cage. And brought him home. And Tico taught us an awful lot about how to deal with birds. He taught me how he wanted to be stretched. He taught me how he wanted to be interacted with. He showed the lovebird that he was scared of the lovebird. I mean, little tiny lovebird, big African grey parrot. African grey parrot was intimidated by this tiny, tiny lovebird. One point, lovebird Crombie actually flew over. Do you need a hand? Is that tangled? Here. There you go. Do you hear Magpie? But at one point, lovebird actually flew over to Tico's cage and climbed right in. And Tico stood on the edge of the cage and just called for help. He didn't know how to deal with this tiny lovebird that had crawled inside of his cage. I mean, intruder alert. Now, lovebirds, if you've ever met a lovebird, you know that they have a larger-than-life attitude. Are there people pets? Yeah? Are you laughing at the people? Yeah, they definitely have a larger-than-life attitude, and Crombie was no different. So Tico grew up with a lovebird. If he hears a lovebird chirping away today, if I play one on Instagram or something, he just goes nuts, and he wants to play tease lovebird. He knows how to contact call to get a lovebird really, really excited, and then he just stops and watches. Manipulation of his environment. So that's actually the story of Tico. Now, Tico is very much a one-person bird, and we added to our flock with Dina. She was a lesser sulfur-crested cockatoo. I got her at 4 months and actually weaned her. She's still being fed a couple of times a day. And unfortunately, she passed away a number of years ago, which is quite sad. Max came into our lives, and Max was not planned. I mean, I guess you say that about kids sometimes, but Max was not planned. He'd been attacking his previous owner, and I got a phone call, and they just needed somebody to temporarily foster their herd. If I was not out of the house that night, you know, there was going to be a divorce. I mean, he'd attacked the wife for the last time, and she was pretty angry with him. And I said, yeah, I can take him for a week, maybe 2 weeks on the outside. So I took the Amityville Horror with wings, and you know, he was dropped off at my house with his big cage, hung out with me for a while, and then they asked me if I could find him a new home. And you know, long story short, I've got a really long story on YouTube, but you know, I taught him some manners, because you need some manners before you can find a new home. Then I tried to rehome him, and Max had some ideas. He'd already found his new home. I just hadn't quite clued in. But he definitely wanted to hang out with me. He wanted to stay. And 16 years later, he is still here. So I think that's definitely a really positive story. So sometimes the birds pick you. Oh yeah. You having a mutter? Yes. French Paul says cockatoos are more into getting pet than African greys. Good thing they are softer. Yeah, every bird has their own way that they like to be, they like to work with their environment. You know, Max likes to have cuddles frequently. He likes to be scratched frequently. He likes contact, just to tell him that he's okay. I guess touch for him is a love language. Tico's more into praise. He's not so much into the physical contact. He likes having his head scratched and the area on his face around his beak rubbed, but beyond that, he can take care of the rest. What you doing, Max? But I mean, I let them tell me what they want, and I try to respect it most of the time. Sometimes you push the limits, and sometimes it's good to show the bird that, you know, it's okay. You know, this week we went for a walk near a construction site, and Max was saying, hey, I'm getting kind of nervous about this. And he noped right off my arm when a loud machine started. He was on a leash, and what happened is a big machine started, and he decided that we were going the other way. He knows how to steer me. He just leans on the arm, shifts his weight. Well, he threw his weight violently to one side and did not grab on. Well, gravity took hold, and all of a sudden, next thing you knew, he'd basically thrown himself right off my arm. Shame on my forearm for not doing a better job of holding on to him. But so he basically fell off my arm, and he landed on the ground, looked at me, and sort of said, hey, we're going this way. So I followed him, and that's how we got that video of him wandering on the ground. But he wanted to walk, he wanted to interact, he wanted me to follow him, and he was okay with that. When we got home, I scrubbed his feet well, especially in times of COVID. You just don't know what's on the ground. Maybe I'm a little bit paranoid, but I think it's a good thing. I also didn't want him licking his feet once they'd been on the ground. So I don't know what other birds have taken a crap on the ground and what he might be picking up. I know, it's probably fairly safe, but you know, we were a few blocks away from home, and I didn't have full control of the environment. But he really did enjoy going for that short walk. And he has walked on the ground occasionally before outside as well. Yeah, are you enjoying yourself, Max? Yeah, so we are coming up to the top of the hour. Now, Max, do you think we can get a balk from you? Hang on, guys. I'm going to pick up the phone. Hopefully not. Whoops, there we go. Unclip it from the tripod. And let's go in for a couple of quick close-ups. So we've got Tico, we've got Skinny. Yeah, there's Tico right there. And there's Skinny. There's Max. Yeah, what do you think, Max? You come up? Come on up. All right. Hey, Max, can we get a buck? There you go. So thank you, everybody. You got a few things to say, Max? Yeah, but we'd like to thank everybody for joining us on the patio today. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Yeah. Yeah, Max, are you saying thank you? Thank you to everybody for joining us. All right, guys, I hope everybody has an absolutely fantastic week. And one more balk, Max. Balk. All right. Have a great week, guys. Bye-bye.